All right, so game number 1, we are seeing Puppypaw as the Ottomans on the bottom left here, and we have Vortix as the Delhi Sultanate. Now this is a very interesting matchup. I would say it's a not very, but I'd say it's slightly favored to the Ottomans. I think I totally missed the intro to there, but whatever. This is definitely, at least on this version of the patch for sure, I think this is Ottoman favored. Doesn't mean it's not winnable for Delhi, but I think Delhi has to play really, really clean to win this matchup. As for both this matchup in general, I do expect this to be kind of a short one. Vortix is a very aggressive player. I think in every game I've casted of his, I think most of them have been on like 20 minutes or less. And it might have, and I don't even know if he said it. I'm sure he said 20 minutes, but they've been very. It feels like they've been very short. He's just a very aggressive player. He's Delhi, and then this matchup in particular, Ottomans versus Delhi, it's going to be a fight for the sacred sites. It's going to come down to, can Puppypaw deny the sacred sites, or will Delhi be able to secure them, get the castle, and then, you know, maybe take a fight? We'll see. I'm suspecting this will go to a feudal age war, but we'll find out. We just have the standard opening, going straight to the berries, getting wheelbarrow, going the mosque. I'm definitely expecting the Tower of Victory from Vortix here. And then the typical berry landmark for Puppypaw. Vortix has found an okay-ish amount of sheep. He's got 10 sheep, and I think Puppy's got similar. So, you know, this game's not really going to come down to the sheep. It's going to come down to, again, that feudal war that we're just going to wait to start here. Now, I don't know how often Puppy and Vortix have played against each other, and these two have generally... I know Puppy and Wham in general both have like a very, they like have good record versus Vortix and Lucifron. I feel like all 4 of them just trade. Just depends on the day on who wins, and obviously the Civ matchups. Now, I have seen Puppypaw play Ottomans, but he usually does a 2 town center build. I can't imagine he's going to do that against Delhi, but I suppose we'll find out. If he does do that, a 2 town center build, then I would favor Vortix's position, as I don't think you want to go 2 town center against Delhi in this matchup. But as we're seeing the 10 Minaret Madrasa coming up, which is again that berry landmark. It's 50% faster food gathering for the berries, and also repletes every like 120 seconds. Okay, it's free food for 4 villagers for the whole game. I think it goes lower once you get some eco upgrades. It might go to like 3, but in general you can have 4 on this for pretty much the entire game, and you don't have to worry about them at all. It's a nice little food boost. And then, as expected, we have the Tower of Victory, which gives the Delhi player infantry units only a plus 20% attack speed, so long as it is in the aura. So if he builds a barracks in the aura of this, you know, then he's going to get that 20% attack boost. Or speed boost. Whatever. Same thing, really. We see more, you know, more sheep coming for Puppy over here. So Puppy's got a decent amount of sheep, which is nice. He'll have this as well, and I assume at some point he will go for his deer, you know, these berries, but the deer would be a priority, berries second usually. What I like to do personally in this matchup is, like, I like to use my first vizier point as a... I like to use the vizier point for the sheep when I'm being... Because, again, this is usually a very feudal aggressive matchup, and so the sheep kind of allows you not to have to worry about raids as much, but most players, at least at the pro player level, high level, will go the meter, the support unit. Everyone makes fun of me how I say it, so I call it the support unit. We do have 4 villagers on stone, which is quite a bit. He's got enough for two military schools. Now, generally, you'll get about enough for 3, but I'm suspecting Puppy might be trying some sort of 2 TC play as well. Again, I've watched him play. He's sending more to stone, so we are definitely going to be seeing a second TC. I think if I was Vortix in this situation, I would be happy, because that means you're getting the sacred sites without any contest, because that second TC really does delay military production by quite a bit. And Vortix here will be able to start getting the sacred sites at about 7 minutes and 10 seconds, or 2.5 minutes if you want to, you know, go that route. We do have the stone for Puppy, so he can drop that second TC at any time. He's pulling 3 villagers. He's keeping these 4 on stone because he wants to be able to make those military schools. At least that's what I assume. Yep, he's even pulling 5 from wood as well. So he's pulling 8 villagers. Going to build that second TC. I don't think Vortix has scouted this yet, but if he does, he's going to know, and he's about to scout it here. You know, he's going to scout all the stone that's been taken. He's going to realize that he's going to be able to take these sacred sites. And again, there shouldn't be much of a contest, at least in the feudal age. But we'll see how it kind of plays out. As you can probably tell, I'm not the biggest fan of Ottoman 2 TCs in matchups like this. I just don't see how it can work, but maybe Puppy will surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised to see Vortix go for a siege time, or not siege. Well, I guess technically it is siege. A ram timing though. I have seen his deli quite a bit, and he does like to take, get the sacred sites, and then he will a lot of times against like 2 TC plays, like against Abbasid, he'll do a feudal age ram timing and take out the town center and try to kill his opponent. So there's a very good chance that Vortix does try this game instead of doing like a castle age. We have the first blacksmith going for the +1 ranged armor. Again, very usual play. And Puppy did the smart thing here. He pushed in all the deer. This means he doesn't have to worry about making a mill or his villagers going all the way out here to take it back. Just a little bit more efficient food income. And we've got the first military school coming out. Well, we have a horseman and a couple archers for Vortix, who at this point, I don't know if he's seen the TC, but he's definitely seen the stone gathered, so he should know there's a second TC. But I'm pretty sure he did scout it with his scout. I just didn't look. Or I didn't pay attention, I guess. And Vortix, knowing that second TC, he's going to send both his scholars to both sacred sites, and there's nothing Puppy can do about this. That is the nice thing when facing a 2 TC from any civ in the game. This isn't just against, when you're Delhi versus any civ that goes 2 TC, you can get these sacred sites with little to no contests. The most irritating might be like a scout. Like a scout could technically be here by Puppy to deny it and force him to send units. But otherwise, there's no actual threat to the sacred sites for now. Puppy's going to be scouting the units pumping out. We see archers, spearmen, and horsemen coming. We do see, again, he knows he can do this harassment. If Puppy was on 1 TC, he would not send this army out here, because this would just get demolished by Spahi and the units that Puppy would have. And first sacred site, second sacred site, and let's kind of see what else are we getting here. So, as I suspected, siege engineering is the next upgrade coming in for Vortix. So after this +1 ranged, he will be saving for those beautiful rams. He does have he has 14 villagers on wood now. So he's definitely going to be banking that. And Puppy doing a nice little annoying thing. He's using his Spahi to deny that extra gold for Vortix. It's an annoying tactic. It's probably denying a solid 15 or 25 50 gold, maybe not 50 but 25 gold at least, if you think about it in that aspect. But second sacred site taken. He's now going for the third, and you just look at this military graph, 22 to 8. This is again not surprising. Delhi can really pump out them units, and Ottomans can too, but again, these are slightly delayed. And we do see archers and the meter coming out for Puppypaw. And interestingly enough, Puppy actually used the MM's landmark, or vizier point, instead of sheep or the meter. I'm not a big fan of that personally. I just don't think this really adds that much value. Yes, they have area of effect healing, and they can help heal your units, but in combat, they don't heal that much. And Vortix already has a decent amount of archers. Now, of course, they do have 90 health, but I think he can kill him in a few shots. But again, we still see double the military, though Puppy is starting to get that military production going. He doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades. He's not even gathering gold, so he's going to be against a Delhi who has upgrades, at least some blacksmith upgrades, and he's not. Looks like a sacred site denial here. It is going to kill that one spear. And we have 15 seconds now until siege engineering finishes for Vortix, and I anticipate him to go straight for this landmark the town center right here. He's got 500 wood already in the bank, so he's going to throw down 2 rams almost immediately, and he should be able to save this sacred site with the horsemen. All right, siege engineering has finished. First ram coming down. Puppy is going to see this, or at least I'm pretty sure he will. Well, if he didn't for sure, I'm sure he does now. And he's going to be like, okay. And Archer goes down. MM goes down. Second MM goes down. Again, it's just, they don't do very well. I don't know. That's why I don't like that as the Vizier point. And that Vizier point has now been gone. Sacred Sites are secured, so now we have 450 passive gold income for Delhi or Vortix, and Vortix has the first ram. Now, Vortix is going to want to get at minimum 2 rams, but I recommend 3 rams before going for the town center. 2 you can do it with. It just feels a little bit, you know, tighter of a push, but 3 I feel like is the magic number. And, you know, Puppy is going to see this. He sees the first ram is complete. At least I think he has vision. Well, if he doesn't, he did now. So he knows this is coming. He's pulling back. And yeah, Vortix is collecting way too much gold. Yeah, that's because he's getting it from the Sacred Sites. He's not using villagers to gather gold. Those are purely from Sacred Sites, and he's spending it with the market. All right, here we go. 2 ram timing incoming. The military is getting closer, but Puppy just threw away 2 archers for free. And, you know, we have 22 archers for Vortix, 20 for Puppypaw, but you have to remember this town center. This town center is going to be crucial for the defense because it is going to be able to focus fire these units. But Puppy still has... Oh, he's about to have +1 ranged attack. And we see, you know... But we see the fight is not going well for Puppy here. You look at that military. His military is just plummeting. Because you also remember, these are Tower of Victory as well. So not only do they have blacksmith upgrades, but they also have the +20% attack speed. And I just about lost my mouse off my... I threw my mouse off my my pad. He is now Puppy is pulling a lot of villagers here. 15 villagers, 16 villagers, 17 villagers. And, you know, that villager lead, eco is better for Vortix because you have to remember Vortix has 3 Sacred Sites. Now, that town center is dishing out a lot of damage. It is killing his military. But, again, Puppy's only down to 6 military now. He doesn't have the units to deal with this. And he is going to lose that second TC. He's now behind on villagers. Vortix is just shoving units down his throat. And Puppypaw GG's. Yeah, that's a... I'm not surprised that Vortix did this. Like I said, I really think 2 TC Ottomans is a very weak... It just feels very, very weak. And especially against Delhi. Like, I can see it versus other civs, for example, you know, against... If you want to do it against, like, China or something, even though I would never do it, but, you know, I feel like that's a better use case of a 2 TC. But against Delhi, just doesn't feel good. I definitely think that. I think Puppy lost the game the moment he decided to go 2 TC there. So, oh, I should update the score. Blade with the post-match roast. It's all out of love. It's all out of love. I am a huge 2 TC Ottoman hater, though. I won't lie. I absolutely... something about it just makes me go, no, that is not how you want to play that civ. So what we'll do here is we'll go into game number 2 here. Ooh, best map in the game though, incoming. He is Archer all-in enjoyer. Actually, no, that's not necessarily true either. I'm actually a pretty big... I actually do like Ottoman Castle Age quite a bit. Alright, so it's 1-0 to Vortix. Any thoughts, Blade? On what? I already gave my thoughts on the last game. And I probably was a little overly harsh, but... I can't help myself when it comes to some Ottomans. I feel like a lot of players don't know how to... or don't play Ottomans correctly. I'm so convinced of that. But anyway... All right, so here we go. Game number 2 on the map Bohemia, Vortix versus Puppypaw. Puppypaw as the Holy Roman Empire against Vortix, who has chosen Mongols. Yes, the winner of this series will be playing B next, though that will not be played till later this week. I don't know when yet. Obviously, these players don't know until they've won. Now, it's kind of interesting. So this map was, I've said this many times, but this is a map that I worked with Missibs on, or... I think it was Missibs, and no, Avali, sorry. And he created this map for me. And so this map is interesting in the fact that there's only 2 small stone croppings for each player. And despite players knowing this, I see Mongols on this map all the time. Which you would think, with 2 stone croppings, you think people would not want to play Mongols. But that ends up not being the case. I would say Mongols is probably the most played civ on this map that I've seen. Along with probably English being the second. And then we do have a barracks opening for Puppy. This is because he's anticipating a tower rush. But if we look at Vortix's base, we are going to see that early barracks. Or are we? He only has an extra 50. He's actually going to pasture opening. So Puppy is blindly assuming he's going to get tower rush and has made a barracks and a spearman against a Mongol player who has no intentions of tower rushing or even making spears. He's just going to make this pasture. Now, despite that fact, that does not mean that Puppy is super behind or anything. He could utilize his advantage here, if he scouts and notices this, to take out the Uvu. I mean, would he prefer to not make these spearmen? Yes, but he's already committed to this. He might as well make, a few spearmen, go for this Uvu, and take it out as soon as he can. Now, of course, he hasn't scouted this yet, so he has no idea. He will know soon, because typically the tower rush should be coming about any moment now. You should be seeing those initial spears along with the villager, so it won't take long for Puppy to be like, okay, wait, I haven't seen any spears. I haven't seen the Khan in my base, because the Khan usually scouts around to look for, like, the gold. And, this is actually a pretty good tower rush gold. If this got towered and then this got towered, that'd be a real pain in Puppy's butt. But we are going to see now Puppy is going to scout this. He's going to see there is no barracks there, and knowing there's no barracks on the Uvu, he's going to freely move his spears across the map. We already see 1, we see 3, 4 spearmen should be able to take this out, and they should be able to deny the gold of Vortix. Now, Vortix will be able to get the gold to advance, but he will lose this position. So if he was planning on doing like a town center fast castle play, that is not going to be possible. He is going to need to make an archery range or some kind of production to hold off these spearmen once he hits feudal age. And the nice thing about HRE, they get this nice little inspire bonus. So he's already at 300 or 250 food. Now he's just got to inspire his villagers on gold, and he'll be up to feudal age not too long, believe it or not. Like, he is going to be a bit behind, obviously, but not too far behind. And Vortix is aging with 7 villagers on this deer stone. So he wants to be up to the feudal age ASAP. The only flaw to this that I think is he doesn't have a lot. I think this is too many on this. He's only got 4 villagers on wood. And if you look, he's got 0 wood in the bank. By the time he hits feudal age, I don't know if he'll have enough for a archery range. So I think this Uvu should go down, but maybe not. Vortix does have some pretty clean builds I've seen in the past, so maybe he does know he'll have enough. I just feel like he's probably not, considering we're 3/4 of the way done. And Puppy's now going to be advancing as well. Where's he going to place his Aachen Chapel? Okay, he's not going to place it here. He's going to place it here, which isn't the most beautiful spot you want your Aachen Chapel, by the way. I feel like it would have been better here, because you at least secure gold, wood, and food. But it's also blocked by the barracks, and the house, so he's not going to get a lot of farm value in this direction. He'll get the farm value here and here later on. And Vortix is now just going to try to poke at this, but this is dead no matter what. And it looks like, oh, I didn't realize this. Vortix did pull villagers off of the landmark, so that's why he could afford his archery range. I think he realized that even though he had 7 on here, he wasn't going to have enough for an archery range. So he's going to plop that down now, but the Uvu is destroyed, and the gold is denied. And we do see Puppy aging with 8 villagers on this Aachen Chapel really quick. Now the question is, are we going to see a fast castle? I'm guessing not. I'm thinking we might see a second TC, considering the fact that we don't see any villagers on gold right now. And we have the first archers coming out. The spearmen are retreating. He just doesn't want to lose to those archers. I actually think this is a premature retreat. I think Puppy should have stayed a little bit longer. He could have denied this Uvu by a little bit, and then once the archer comes out, just run away. I think would have been a nice play. Either way, it's not a big deal. He is coming back with them now, but it's just a little bit of things that I think he could have done a little bit better in terms of like pressuring the Mongol with those early spears. Now we do see 9 villagers on wood, but we don't have any on stone or gold yet. So, I mean, this is looking like a 2 TC play to me. Stable coming out for Puppy. And these spearmen are running. Archer's going to chase them away. Not much these archers can... They can't really catch up to them. And so now we just kind of wait. Now this horseman, when it comes out, if Vortix overcommits, he is going to lose at least 1 or 2 archers, which he ideally doesn't want to do. And we do see an outpost coming out for Puppy as well. Kind of interesting. I feel like this outpost isn't necessarily needed, but we'll see. Vortix is pulling back with the archers. I think this is the right move. I think he has scouted right. He's in the base. He scouts the stable. He scouted the men-at-arm. 2 archers aren't going to do anything, so it's best to retreat here. And it looks like Puppy's gathering just enough stone to get arrow slits here. That's why he's not building a lumber camp. So he's not going for a 2 town center play. He is going to go for some feudal pressure into Castle Age, it looks like. You know, he's going to make some men-at-arms, or at least only 1 men-at-arm, and a few horsemen here. And these spearmen are still alive, so they can still be annoying. And if we look at Vortix, he's actually going for a second TC. 20 villagers on wood. He's not making any units. He's obviously floating 800 wood. So second TC should be coming down shortly for him. And we see Puppy already throwing down the farms. Kind of like English, HRE is one of those civs where it's okay to throw down those early farms. Thanks to the Akin Chapel and that inspiration bonus, you know, HRE really gets a lot of food from that. And so just to kind of make some other, well, you know, the second TC is coming down. Puppy's kind of moving out with some horsemen and men-at-arms. Nothing too crazy. He might be able to take out this Uvu again, actually, though, which is going to be very annoying for Vortix. But one thing to note about this map is you're going to notice this is the only safe gold, and I say safe with you know, quotation marks. This is the only safe gold for Vortix at the moment. Once this gold mine's out, his next safest gold is here. So if Puppy can, you know, deny his opponent from ever moving out of this first gold mine, it could prove, you know, a little difficult for Vortix later on. And and Puppy is getting close to castle. He is, you know, he still has a lot of food. He still needs another 400 gold, but 400 food, 400 gold, and he will be in the Castle Age. And we actually see Vortix pulling the town center. He wants to put it here. Puppypaw does see this and is going to place a horseman here, which is going to be very annoying. So now this second TC not only is it going to get down, but it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. It's not making villagers. Oh, but it does get down. So that will be able to protect the Uvu, the berries, and the gold is still technically vulnerable. But we can see Puppy's very close to aging here. Just needs 120 gold. Although he is throwing away his men-at-arms and his horsemen, and he's getting away with 1 spear. There's been no villager kills here, and it did force a bunch of units and idle time out of this town center. So overall, I think it was kind of it's an okay trade. Like, it's not the optimal trade as HRE. You don't want to typically lose your early units that way, but he's under no threat. He's even throwing down a couple stables while going the Regnitz Cathedral, which is a very standard play, and pulling 13 villagers. And if we look at the, you know, the eco bank here, he's gonna have enough for 2 or 3 nights the moment this finishes. And if you look at Vortix's base, he only has archers right now. He does have a barracks for spearmen, and he's making some spearmen now, but for now he can't really do much about. He really can't do anything to Puppy. And Puppy's actually pulling 2 more villagers to build this. Now, the one mistake, well, I view this as a mistake. Some players don't. So I'm not going to say it's a mistake. But Puppy has opted not to take his prelate out of the Akin Chapel. So instead of getting a relic immediately, he built one from the town center, and he's just going to keep this in here. Personally, when you see a 2 town center opening from Mongols and only an archery range, I really feel like he could have gotten 2 relics immediately. And I don't think there's much that could be done. Now, it looks like these archers might actually deny this one. Looks like he's splitting them up, so that's very nice for Vortix here, denying those relics as long as possible, and kills a prelate. And if you notice, there's no other prelates on the map, so there's no relics on the way, and now Puppy has to remake a prelate, and he's got to send these knights out to deal with it. Although we do see 4 spears coming. 6 spears. Okay, 6 spears versus 3 knights. I think the knights technically can win that fight, but I'm not actually sure. Either way, I like the way Vortix is playing this right now. He's splitting up his army, you know, forcing Puppy to do the same. And he actually is... Ooh, that knight got absolutely mauled by those spears. Now, it is nice that he's denying these relics for now, right? And I do love these two archers over here, just being very annoying to deny these relics. And Puppy has made a couple more prelates, so they are going to move out to try to grab these. And he should be able to grab them. They are going to be significantly delayed. And we do see 3 villagers on stone. Not sure if this is going to be used for a keep or a second town center later on. We'll see. And I didn't notice this, but Puppy did take that as well. Now, the downside is what I wanted to say is, yes, Vortix is doing a great job denying the relics, but he's not close to Castle Age yet. And, you know, Castle Age men-at-arms counter everything Mongols have in the Feudal Age. And a little spearman raid there. And then there's a couple knights as well. So, you know, eventually Vortix does need to get that Castle Age. Otherwise, his units are going to scale worse and worse as the game goes on in this Castle Age. And we see the first relic grabbed by Puppy over here. And I don't think there's any way Vortix can deny this, so that's a nice win for Puppy. And, you know, Puppy wants to grab these relics, but he knows about these units, so he's, you know, trying to build up a little bit of mass. He's trying to get some more men-at-arms, get some more knights, throwing down a couple houses. It looks like he housed himself, and Vortix is starting to get closer and closer to that Castle Age. Looks like he's saving, not making any more units, so I really like what he's doing at the moment. And then we have Puppy just, you know, he's kind of chilling at the moment as well, throwing down more farms. Now, 2 knights against 3 spears, you know, and Vortix realized this. I was going to say, these 2 knights could clean up this army, I'm pretty sure. But with these here, it is not the case. And we do see another barracks coming out. I was wondering when that was going to come. And Vortix should be going Castle Age here now. Going with the Kurultai. Very interesting. This is usually a landmark you don't see unless you're trading. Obviously, on this map, there is no trade, but I'm not sure I like this personally, but I suppose we'll see how it plays out. Maybe the Kurultai will be enough of a bonus to some degree. All right, we do see a raid over here. One village, the first villager of the game goes down, you know, and Vortix is pulling 15 villagers to get this up ASAP. And the first relic has been deposited by Puppy. Second relic should be deposited here shortly. And then he should be able to grab this third one. Now, the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of the Kurultai, to kind of just give it, is the other landmark gives you 20% more gold, which is really, really nice and very, very noticeable. And Puppy should be able to take this fight here as well. Yeah, he may lose the knights, but the men-at-arms, you know, they're Castle Age men-at-arms. All these units will go down. A little bit of a mistake by Puppy, though. He put the prelate in too soon and actually loses them. So that's a very annoying factor for him. We're just seeing more knights, more men-at-arms. Actually, we don't see any blacksmith techs for Puppypaw yet. So he doesn't really have any armor, you know, so these archers, despite not doing the most amount of damage, they're doing more damage than they should be to these. And we do see a 13 villager lead for Vortix, which, you know, may seem like a big deal, but it's really not in this matchup. You have to remember, again, that Holy Roman Empire has inspiration, plus Regnus from the Golden Cathedral, or the Regnitz Cathedral. So he's about to have his second relic. So right now, I would put them as maybe even in economy, but I actually favor Puppypaw overall. And we do see the first Lancers coming out from Vortix here. He's going to try to do some raiding. And interesting that we're seeing this already taken when he still has most of the stone over here. So not sure why Puppy's doing this, but one villager should go down for Puppy here. Oh, okay, he actually went to gold. Kind of an odd choice. All right, third relic gets grabbed. And we are seeing a raid over here. You know, the funny thing is, I think Puppy could have dived this. Now, there's no reason to risk it, but with the outpost here, some crossbows, it's probably not worth risking, but I think he would have won that fight had he taken it. And we do see, while we see him having a third relic, it's just chilling here, not doing anything at the moment. These Lancers are kind of being, well, actually, they should take out that Knight, I think. And we only have the speed boost for the men-at-arms out for Vortix, or for Puppy at the moment, but we do see the first mangonel. Alright, and the first Lancer goes down for Vortix, and let's kind of see here. So we see 3 stables for Vortix, and he's moving his Kurltai. I think he really needs to get that. Where's his second Ubu? Really needs to get that superior mobility so that his buildings move a little faster. Where's he placing that? Not really sure. And, you know, just getting the blacksmith techs now for the men-at-arms. Vortix kind of running away. You know, Vortix has killed 3 villagers. Or, you know, I always mix up how this is valued. I don't know why. I should remember with how many casts I've done over the past month, but I still mixed up. So I think 1 was killed by... Yeah, Puppy killed 1 villager, and I think Vortix killed 3, if I'm not mistaken. Or, he lost 3, I should say. Vortix lost 3, Puppy lost 1. That's what I meant to say. And we have 4 relics for Puppy, 1 for Vortix. So, very, you know, not ideal. You know, despite all that denial of those relics, in the end, you know, it's nice to deny that gold for a while, but Puppy still got 4. So, there. It's worker kills. Okay, chat's yelling at me now. I feel like I'm getting abused, but that's okay. So, Vortix has killed 3 villagers, and Puppy's killed 1. And Springle Tower doing some damage here. An attempted raid by Puppy and a raid by Vortix, but I think he's a little distracted, so he's actually not even going to get... Ooh, is he not going to get a single Vil kill? He does not get a single Vil kill, whereas Puppy has gotten 2. So now they're both at 3-3. Sacred Site's being taken. That will be denied by these knights, though. And... lots of stone gather. It's so interesting that Puppy just abandoned this stone right here and just went for this one. I don't know why. Kind of interesting. And 1 villager was killed by Vortix there. And the Kurl... Oh, well, here's where the Kurltai is going. It's going all the way across the map. And it goes down. For those who don't know what this landmark does, this heals your units and gives plus 20% damage if you're in the aura of this. And Vortix is moving out with a pretty large army. The downside is he doesn't really have siege yet. He hasn't even gotten the siege engineering improved, so he's not going to be making any siege here. And there's 2 mangonels. I don't think he can push this. There's just too much by Puppy. If he pushes this, he's going to lose this fight. It's not even going to be close. 2 mangonels counters this whole army. And realizing that, Vortix does pull back. And does he start... He does not start the siege improved engineering, so he has no way to make Springolds, and he is going to lose his Kurltai. And we are seeing almost enough for a keep here, and Puppy looks like he may be saving for that Imperial Age. He is throwing down more farms, he's throwing down, getting more mangonels, getting upgrades. You know, if he wanted to, he could be going Imperial here any moment. And... he has siege engineering in the queue, but it won't be for another minute and a half before he starts upgrading it, which will only take 30 seconds, so in about 2 minutes he'll have siege engineering improved. Now, if Puppy recognized that he didn't have it, which is very hard to know, like, you have no way of knowing if he has it upgraded or not, but he could have, in theory, pushed, and probably, I don't know if Vortix could have held it. We are seeing a little knight fight here. Palace of Swabia is coming down for Puppy. He is going to go to that Imperial Age, you know, playing it safe, playing it smart. Vortix does have a 30 villager lead, but that'll quickly diminish once this Palace of Swabia completes. And again, you can't mistake 4 relics by Achery, so in reality, Holy Roman, you know, Puppy may be slightly behind economically, but it's not by much if he is at all. And I don't even know that he is, despite the villager lead by Vortix here. Seeing another nice little villager kill there. You know, Puppy just wants to keep it even. He's like, you know what? I know you killed 4 of mine. I need to kill 1 more to even us out. And now they're even at 4. Palace of Swabi's almost complete. We have 8 Lancers on the way. Siege-proof engineering just completes. And what is Vortix going to do? He's going to be forced to attack, is what he's going to be forced to do. He's trying to gather food out here safely, but these 3 knights could potentially do some damage to it. And we actually have the first keep being thrown down, because what's the biggest threat to Puppypaw right now? It is a castle timing. And this is going to buy him a lot of time. He's going to be able to make, you know, a culverin. There is a knight raid here, but these knights, or these lancer raids, I should say. But a villager kill here isn't as worthwhile anymore. Yes, he's getting 3 villager kills, 4 villager kills. But he's going to have that replaced in 18 seconds, 24 seconds. And at a cheaper cost. So yeah, obviously you don't want to lose villagers, but it's going to be fine. But this is the moment that is going to be the most vulnerable for Puppypaw. When you go fast Imperial's HRE, it takes you time to get those villagers to, you know, get that eco. It takes you time to get the upgrades, the units. So right now, despite being Imperial Age, the only advantage Puppy's going to have is this culverin and this keep here. And, you know, Vortix is going to need to build a lot more than 1 Springald. He's going to want at least 2 or 3. But this is the downside to not having the step readout. He's only gathering... He has 18 villagers on gold, right? But he's getting normal income instead of the extra 20% that the landmark gives. Which, by the way, you float a ton of gold as Mongols because of it. He's not really... You know, doesn't have that much gold in the bank. He should be able to afford a 4th one. But here's the downside. Now he needs to build trebuchets as well. And the trebuchets from Mongols are not anywhere near as good as every other civs in the game. They're the weakest. They are cheaper. You know, he only has to spend 300 wood instead of 400, and 100 gold instead of 150, I think it is. But still, it's 300 wood, and this keep is going to keep Puppy safe for quite a while. Buys him that time he needs. He has elite horse, or he's upgrading his horsemen, building another siege workshop, pumping out them villagers, and you can already see, you know, the villagers are coming fast and furious. More units streaming across the map from Vortix here. You know, probably trying to... He sees the keep. He's like, okay, I need to go somewhere else. But there's now 2 culverins. Okay, 4 Springalds lose to 2 culverins because a culverin one-shots a Springald. I think 4 does one-shot a culverin, though. So, you know, it kind of depends on the micro here. We have 1 culverin going on its own. And I do like what Vortix is doing here, by the way. He recognizes he can't push this. His best chance is to deny this economy right here. Take out the farms, take out the Palace of Swabia, and, you know, this is probably his best chance, because if he sieges this keep, it has emergency repairs. He's going to repair it, and this would stay alive for a long time. So I do like it. It is risky, though, because reinforcements are going to take forever to get around here. And we do see 3 Mangonels fire. Vortix does a nice little dodge there. Bombard... Oh, no, never mind. Just a fortified outpost. We do see a raid here by Puppypaw. He is killing a lot of villagers. Again, evening that Vill kill count. Another shot. This is going to be... Oh, that was actually a really good dodge by Vortix there. You know, and it's funny. They really are even on the Vill kills still. But that's what I was talking about. 3 culverins instantly annihilated those Springalds, and now there's nothing Vortix can do here. He's not going to kill these Mangonels. There's a lot of units by Puppypaw. He's just getting him under protection. They're going to fire, and that was a massive hit. And what's Vortix going to do here? There's really nothing. He doesn't have the siege. He doesn't have any way to kill these Mangonels. He can't retreat, and that Imperial Age is going to come in. That villager count's already dropped to 23. It was at 35 a minute ago. More villagers were killed by Puppy that I missed. It looks like he killed 4 more, or Vortix killed 4 more, sorry. And it looks like, you know, unless Vortix does something incredible, I really don't know how he's going to pull this back. But we'll see. You know, I mean, that is a massive military loss. I mean, you can just look at the score, the villagers, the eco, the military. The military's almost double in favor. Wait, Vortix actually has more of a military than Puppy still. So, you know, the problem is the siege, though, right? 3 Mangonels, 3 culverins. You know, the only way Vortix can ever really take a fight, it feels like, 4 Mangonels now, is he needs to have, like, 8 to 12 Springald, or maybe not 12, but 8 Springalds at least. And even then, I don't think that's enough if these culverins get a shot off each. And, you know, I'm just trying to give a bit of copium here for Vortix, you know, hoping that maybe he can, you know, do something. We do see a large villager move out from Puppy, 25. Looks like he's going to go for this gold vein over here. He does still have this stone here, so he could make another keep if he wanted to. That outpost gets denied. You know, Puppy's siege army is just massing like crazy. And what's Vortix doing here? So he's not saving for Imperial. He's actually throwing down a bunch of stables. He's trying to get out horsemen. The problem is Puppy has land snakes. He has 7 of them. And that's not like that's not necessarily a ton yet, but he also has his own horsemen. So if horsemen dive on this and there's 7 land snakes, you know, that's a one swipe will kill a group of horse. I don't know if it'll kill one group of horsemen, but it'll do a lot. And we also have 15 men at arms as well. So going to be very difficult, I think, for mass horsemen to push for Vortix. I mean, the problem is if he goes Imperial Age, I think he just dies to the counterattack. So I think this is probably his best play. I really don't think Vortix has many options here. He did mine out of this gold, and he is taking the gold over here. You know, he's got 20 villagers on there. He's got his good eco-techs. I like Vortix does what I do, by the way. I never get the mining upgrades. I always get the wooden food, though. It's probably bad to do that, but I do like that I'm not the only one who does that. And you know, Puppy's slow pushing this. He's going to build forward outposts himself. And just look at that army. You know, we have 78, lots of horsemen, big army from Vortix. You know, the only chance he could to take this is if he really spreads out. But yeah, these horsemen, they take out one mangonel, and that's all they take out. Big hit by there, taking out a bunch of crossbows. You know, more mangonel shots coming out. Not really getting the best hits there, but spearmen melting. Trying to do a flank attack here, but it's just not enough. 4 horsemen isn't enough. Not with all this siege here. And we see, and yeah, Vortix realizing he can't win the game, taps out of the game. Very well played by Puppypaw there. Definitely think I think he played that very, very well. And, you know, Vortix's strategy, it's tough. Like, this is a tough matchup for Mongols, I feel like. You know, the best chance I think you have to beat HRE with Mongols if they do a fast Imperial like that is a Castle Age mass siege timing. When I say mass, I'm talking mangonels, a lot of springolds, a lot of traction trebuchets. But you need to have the step readout to get the resources for that because it's a lot of gold. And the Kurultai really didn't provide any value. He got it out there. It did heal like a Lancer for a minute, but then it got burned down as Puppy had enough units to hold off that first push, burn that landmark to the ground, and instead that there was no landmark benefit for Vortix there. All right, and we've got game number 3 incoming. China versus French on Basin. So the series is tied 1-1. We will, don't worry guys, I haven't forgotten. So it's tied 1-1. The winner of this game will play B later this week, which we will be casting later as well, to see who makes it to Saturday, which would be the top 4. So right now this is the top 6. The next round is, I think it is if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, you know what? I'm not going to say anymore because I'm probably wrong now. I'm doubting myself. That's never good to do. So let's just get this game started. So we have Vortix as the French here on the upper corner thingy mabobber, and we have Puppypaw on the bottom right as the Chinese. You know, right now, a lot of players think China is a very, very good civ. I am one of them. I think they're one of the best civs in the game. I mean, obviously, you know, discounting Malians, I think China is, in my opinion, the 2nd or 3rd best, I think, at the moment. They just feel really strong. Now, I don't think necessarily this is a bad matchup for French. I think French is actually proven to be in a pretty decent spot right now. We're seeing them win a lot in this tournament, I think, you know, especially in matchups that you don't necessarily expect. Still would favor China here. And I know Puppy plays a decent amount of China. Vortix plays a decent amount of French. So I think it'll kind of come down to that. The nice thing for China, or for Puppy here, is he does have deer in the back here. This is actually really nice because it's more of a secure location. So, you know, if he does a wall here to here, this is just secure food. I mean, I guess he has to do a wall here as well. And, I mean, now, I'm not necessarily expecting that, but in general, it is nice to have it in the back of your base. It is a little bit harder to raid. It still is in the open, so, you know, if Puppy takes this food back here, doesn't have any protection, you know, Knights can loop around to the right or the left and, you know, be able to raid them still. And we see, you know, typical opening by Vortix. You know, he's got 8 villagers on food, 3 on gold. Will be aging soon. Obviously, we're gonna expect the School of Cavalry. And, you know, just gathering that food, so it's looking good so far. I mean, they're both getting a decent amount of sheep, so none of them are getting, you know, screwed by the sheep yet. Now, what I expect Puppy to do here is I imagine he's going to do the Imperial Academy, maybe throw down a barracks, and then the barbecue. Now, I feel like the most optimal spot for the barbecue, it's kind of tough to say, actually. You know, a lot of the resources are spread. This boar is way out here, right? So he can't, if he was to do a barbecue out here, he'd need to do it with spears. Over here isn't a bad spot. He could secure gold and, you know, berries and deer, which would be a nice with the barbecue. But again, it's way out in the open. Can he get that down without losing a lot of villagers, you know, because we see the School of Cavalry coming out. We're going to expect knights. And if he wants to do it without any barracks, I think he has to make it back here. Or maybe not back here, but like here, or maybe by his gold. Or if he's going for a second TC, he might just place it up front. Which is probably what he's going to do. Maybe like right here or something. Because his stone is in front and there. What is this tourney for? This is the Conquerors Cup, a $5,000 1v1 tournament that has been running for the past couple weeks. It concludes this Saturday. And we're actually seeing the barbecue first, putting it in this spot here, which again secures his food, so he doesn't have to worry about that at all. And it does kind of secure his deer as well. I mean, not, you know, still raid potential here, but he'll see any knights coming from this direction. And so this side will be relatively safe, or he'll be able to react if, you know, he's getting deer here. And again, he could just do a little wall over here to protect it as well. And Vortix, you know, still aging up. You know, the one thing I like about whenever I watch Luciferone and Vortix play French, their French builds just feel really good from what I've seen. Now, I haven't seen Luciferone's French in a while, but, you know, he's going to be up at about 4 minutes. Maybe a little later, I'm not sure. But it's going to be really close, it feels like, to 4 minutes. He'll get that knight out, and then, you know, whether he's going to go 2 TC or not after, we'll find out. And we do see Puppy, you know, almost has enough for the Imperial Academy. We see that age up by, again, about 4 minutes. Knight in the queue. Like, it's perfect. It's the exact amount of resources to get that knight while getting wheelbarrow. I really like how clean Vortix plays the French opening here. It's better than my French opening, let me tell you. And we have the Imperial Academy coming down at about 4:20. This is the usual time. This will provide that Song Dynasty, which allows villagers to be made in 15 seconds instead of 20. And also allows the production of the Zugu, or the Chokunu, or whatever you want to call it. First knight on the way. We already see it kind of looping around. And the first archer. So we are not going to see a 2 TC play by Vortix. He is going to be aggressive, which I think you kind of have to be. If you let China player boom their heart out, like if you go 2 TC as French and China goes 2 TC Song, China's going to out-eco you. Especially with granaries. So I do like the approach of Vortix here. You know, getting that archery range, making knights. He wants to put on that pressure. Puppypaw sees it. You know, making these walls. I really like these walls because it prevents, you know, the knight can't just kill a villager. Has to go all the way around, which is guaranteed 2 or 3 shots. Also gives Puppy more time to react with his wood villagers. And Song Dynasty is now in effect. Knight tries to come in. And boom, he can't do anything here because he'll get hit by this twice, and then he'll get hit by this twice, and he'll probably lose this knight. So he can't really do much. So I really like how Puppy's set up his defense. We do see the barracks coming out as well. Not seeing anything on stone yet, but this isn't surprising. This doesn't necessarily mean no 2 TC play is coming. We do see the first archers are coming out and going across the map. And for those of you who struggle against raids, like against knights, this is just a small little trick that you can do to do this. Normally he would get 1 vill guaranteed, I think. No. Puppy would react. If Vortix committed to his knight here, he just pulls us back and gets into the town center. Vortix did the right thing not committing. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have gotten anything done. We don't see textiles yet for Puppy, though. We do see, you know, Puppy's trying to scout, see what's going on. And Vortix is trying to hide his archers. He's trying to hide that he's going to be aggressive here. So I do like this, right? He's redirecting his archers, though Puppy may see this one. Now there is a hole in this wall, right? Because of how forward he placed this wall, he now chopped through. So in theory now, a knight could get a Vil kill here. Did I start my turn? Yeah, this is the tournament match. Oh no, misclick by Vortix, and he's gonna lose one archer there. That's actually pretty painful considering he only had 3, right? Now he has, well, I guess he had 4. Now he has 3. You know, he's spending more, and he is going to go for a second TC, so he's not going to do an all-in here. And Puppy is going to scout this as well. We do see a knight attempt at the gold mine, but there's no gold there. We see the scout over here. So, you know, Vortix is trying to find an opening, but you can just see how well Puppy has structured his base. He doesn't have an opening that you can really exploit. There is this little chop through that he could potentially do some damage in, but Puppy is probably aware of it. And he does have spears over here as well. And this is the mining camp going down. And again, he's going to go for that second TC a little bit. You know, it's going to be a little later than you typically like, but again, that's kind of expected against French. And here comes some archers, some knights, you know, trying to find someone that would. But the thing is, Puppy gathered 600 wood and went straight to stone. So, and there is Horseman's Spear here. And so in a direct engagement, Puppy's going to crush this. Like, this is not enough units for Vortix. He's not going to be able to stop this, save this army, and Puppy's going to be very happy about this. He's going to be able to get at least 1 knight if he commits with his horsemen and the archers. But the knights might look like they're probably going to get away, but the horsemen will all die. He's forced back, and he's got the stone now for his second TC. So very well played by Puppy here. You know, recognizing that this isn't a complete feudal aggressive attack, this isn't a feudal all-in. This is just feudal pressure, and yeah. So second TC is going to go down over here, going to secure these berries, deer, and gold. Nice little spot. The thing is, though, Vortix is obviously aware of this, or he saw the villagers go that way. Well, I thought so, because I assume he's going to go that way. But there are 13 villagers, so this town center will go up. Reinforcements being killed by Puppy here. You know, stopping any reinforcements for Vortix. Again, very nice play by him. Kills a knight, and this town center is already almost done. There's nothing Vortix can do. He's going to scout it out, but shouldn't get a Vil kill here. And Puppy's actually trying to do some counter pressure. Shouldn't be able to do any damage. Yeah, didn't think so. You know, pretty good reaction by Vortix there. Another knight went down. Very, very painful. And, you know, Puppy still has a 3-villager lead because of that Song Dynasty. Despite Vortix having 2 TCs quicker, that Song Dynasty really allowed him to, you know, negate that. And it is a second late TC as well. Do see more archers coming out. We see the first blacksmith upgrade coming out for Vortix. And Puppy is... What is Puppy doing here? He's got 8 on food, 18 on wood, so he's not really committing to anything at the moment. I mean, we're not seeing more production, so I suspect we might see more of a castle age for Puppypaw here. And, you know, he's trying to raid with these horsemen. Again, whenever you have a bunch of horsemen and your opponent's not attacking you, this is what you want to be doing. You want to be on the map. You want to be raiding. You don't want to just sit them. You don't want to be like a lot of players like me who will just keep their horsemen in their base sometimes when there's no pressure. There's no reason not to have these on the map. You know, you might find them here. You know, maybe you can kill some on the gold or the stone. You know, being active on the map is just very, very beneficial. Can also force your opponent to react. Which is nice. And we can see here there's 0 villager kills on both sides. You know, that's a big win for China. You know, it's even at the pro level, it's not uncommon to see knights kill at least a villager or 2 in the early game. It doesn't take much. All it takes is one, you know, not paying attention for 1 second, and that knight can take out an archer pretty quick. And Puppy did go for the weak knight and killed it. So already that's very worth it. He lost 1 horseman. I don't even know if he lost a horseman, actually. I don't think he did. So he got 1 knight and then runs away free of all trouble. He's walling in his food sources here. I do like it. Wolf trying to kill a villager, but Puppy reacts and will not lose that villager. And now we are seeing him take the back deer. starting to throw down those archer ranges and make Zugu. So he is not going to go for a Castle Age, but then neither is Vortix. He's pumping out them units. You know, double knight production, double archer production. He's got a decent army now. But this is where those early game losses really, really hurt Vortix here. He's lost like 3 knights this game, I think. So instead of having 8 knights, he has 5 knights. And that's a pretty big deal. Like 8 knights to 5 is, you know, that's almost half. Not quite, but almost. And we do see another raid here. 6 going for that gold mine. This is going to be very annoying for Vortix as he is going to be forced back here. And he's, you know, not going to have the gold for any more knights as he loses gold production. But he hasn't noticed this raid, and Puppy gets on top of him. Puppy should be able to get at least 1 villager here. And 1 villager goes down. Might be able to get 2 if he commits, which he does. So 2 villager kills. And 5 knights coming across the map trying to find some way raid they can do. But look at this. Puppy has 16 spears. These knights are going to do nothing. He's walled up. He's making an outpost. He's very, very safe. Puppy's playing this really, really well, making sure not to take damage. Another horseman raid incoming. Could get another villager. And now the Zugus are coming out. And this is where it's going to get tough for Vortix. Another villager goes down. A 4th villager looks like it's going to go down as well. Nope, it's not. Oh, wait. Nope, Puppy realizes it. Gets a 4th villager. Very, very worth it. These horsemen have killed a knight and 4 villagers. We do see the first ram coming down. And I suspect this attack is just too late, right? Like, this is 1 ram, but we have 18 Zugus, 19 spears against 19 archers, 8 knights. That's just not enough. The Zugus alone can almost take out this whole army. Now, it can't take out the knights. I'm not saying that, but you know, the archers, these knights are never going to get on top of the Zugus because there's too many spears. By the time these archers can kill some spears, they'll be dead by these Zugus. So it's just very, very difficult. And look at that villager lead as well. Puppy is almost 20 villagers ahead. He's up 19. And the thing is, I don't really know what Vortix can do from here, right? Like he could have gone 3 TC, but you know, that's very food intensive. He could have tried going castle, maybe doing a castle timing, but then Puppy would have been right behind him. Look at that military count, and just look at these Zugus doing work. Like, Vortix tried to fight. Puppy's played this very, very, very well. Like, his defense was near perfect. And I say near because you can always find something minor to gripe about, no matter how good of a player you are. And again, you know, I've been in Vortix's shoes as French against China. I think against Puppy specifically, and it just feels bad. Like, you know, you're probably dead here. That archer mass is just being destroyed. The knights, they can't do anything because of the spears. And the Zugus are just pumping out that damage. Now, we do see, you know, those spear numbers have been whittled down to 10. So Puppy, this is where Puppy's made a little bit of a mistake. He's overcommitted. But look at these knight health. They're so low. He could spread out fire and kill 3 knights with these Zugus. So even though he's out of spears, I think he's still got enough units to where he can hold this off just fine. And oh yeah, look at the second wave of reinforcements. That's 12 more Zugus, and Vortix is going to be forced back here. There's no way he's going to... I mean, he's trying to commit here, but there's too many now. And we just see reinforcements piling over for Puppy. And, you know, gotta give credit where credit is due, though. Vortix microed that very, very well. I thought that fight would be way more one-sided in China's favor, but... You know, despite that, Puppy is still fine. He's at a 23 villager lead at the moment. He did lose a villager. Must have lost it over here. I didn't see where he lost it. But we do see that there is no relentless, you know, Vortix is not letting up. He knows at this point that he has to commit. If he tries to go Castle Age right now, what's going to happen is Puppy will get there. And actually, Puppy's going to be going Castle Age here in a minute anyway. Look how close he is. And look at the food income. 1,500 a minute to 350. Just because of these deer. Now, a little bit of a weird decision by Vortix to make a farm transition. He's not taking the deer. He is on the boar, so he does have that. But yeah, he's not taking this deer, which I think is a mistake. And Puppypaw is going Castle Age with the astronomical clock tower. And once this finishes, any aggression by Vortix is going to be shut down. Because he's going to get a nest of B, and there's no way Vortix is going to be able to push. We do see textiles finally coming in for Puppypaw. You know, these knights are diving. He's trying to get as much economic damage as he can, but to be honest, he could kill 15 villagers and Puppy's still going to be ahead in workers. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal for him. And we do see, you know, Vortix moving across the map, trying to, you know, he's already knows that he's in trouble. He's like, crap, China's Castle Age. I've got 7 knights, 23 archers. I'm not even close to Castle Age. I guess we try to attack. Like, this is kind of a desperation attack at this point. And you guys have to remember, this is match point. Whoever wins this moves on to the next round, which is, I believe, a $200 pay bump. So I think whoever wins this will go from $200 to $400 guaranteed, unless I'm mistaken. So very, you know, very... Vortix does not want to leave the game, despite, you know, he wants to try whatever he can. And you never know. Maybe Puppy overcommits, doesn't pay attention, loses a lot of villagers. Never know what can happen here. Can never rule anyone out. I've seen some huge comebacks in Age of Empires, so definitely don't want to throw Vortix out here yet. And we do see knights, you know, they have been cleaned up here. They did get a few villager kills. I think a wolf just killed a villager. It did, so that is why there's 5 worker kills. And Spear's kind of moving across now. But look at this army from Puppy. 43 Zoogs, 20 Spearmen to 8 Knights, 30 Archers. And these are veteran Zugu with Castle. They don't have Castle Age Blacksmith upgrades yet, but once they get that +1 ranged, which even without it, it might not matter, but these 8 Knights won't do anything. And we do see the Royal Institute coming up for Vortix now. You know, he is going to that Castle Age. And we do see the first Nesta Bee coming out as well. And these knights will be forced to run back the moment this comes out. And I do like what Vortix is trying to do here. He's trying to distract Puppy to react to this while pushing with these archers, trying to get as many villagers, hoping he won't notice. You know, because look at this. Puppy pulled his whole army. Can Vortix get some damage here? Puppy with the immediate reaction. He's still going to lose some villagers, but he can afford it. He has an almost 30 villager lead, so he's not going to care about these villager losses. And splits off his army. Knights run away. You know, he killed 4 or 5 villagers there. Only lost a few archers. You know, those are the kind of things Vortix needs to do, though, to kind of get back into this game. And look at this. Puppy has already secured the big gold mine over here. Really, really nice by him. And, you know, Vortix is pulling back. Puppy's not getting any blacksmith upgrades yet. Not getting the relics. So, but he is sending these spearmen across the map. And these knights are about to see a keep. Puppy reacts. Yes, they might get some villager kills, but, you know, if Puppy just runs around this keep, he won't lose too many villagers here. And I don't think this is worth it for Vortix, by the way. Look how fast these knights are falling. Yes, he's killed 6, 7 villagers. Again, he needs those vill kills. That vill kill, by the way, has dropped to 20 instead of 30 it was before. But now he just lost 5, 6 knights right there. That's a lot of knights to lose for some villagers. Especially, you know, he's now down to 4 knights in total. Look at this army by Puppy, 76 to the 38. Another Nest of Bee on the way. And what does Vortix have coming for him? Does he have anything? Any siege engineering, siege workshop? Nothing. Not even his blacksmith upgrades. Neither player going for their blacksmith upgrades. And again, he doesn't really have the gold for it, so it makes sense. Puppy says he's had enough. He's ready to tie. He's ready to end this game. He's burning down that mill, showing him who's boss. Puppy, I mean, and look at Vortix's army. He's got 6 knights, 7 knights. I don't know where they are, though. They're over here trying to do a little bit of raiding. He doesn't have royal bloodlines. In fact, this royal bloodlines is burning down fast. It's already at over half its health lost. Knight's trying to do some raids, but this is down, so we're not going to see any royal bloodlines in this game. More archery ranges being thrown down, trying to get more knights. Nest of bees. Scout going down. You know, here comes the raid. And he's on the granary transition, so he could get some vill kills here, which will be nice. But can he hold off this attack? Vill kills are nice, but even if he killed every single villager here, if he cannot hold off this attack, it doesn't matter. And I don't think he can. 3 knights is not enough. There are 40 Zugus here. There's a Nest of Bee. The archers are being killed. Still no blacksmith upgrades from either. Well, actually, Vortix did, but not from Puppy. But you can just see these knights doing, you know, villagers did go down here. I think 10 villagers went down there, by the way. They're almost even in villagers. If Vortix can hold this, he could, you know, this could be a game. But I just don't think that he can. I think there's too many units by Puppy. And look at this. He's going to keep drop here in a moment. He's bringing 18 villagers. He's going to keep drop his face. But Vortix, you've got to give Vortix the micro. He's been microing these fights as best as he can. Very, very well. You know, these fights, if it was me in Vortix's spot, I would have lost this fight way worse than he did. But Vortix has done a great job not, you know, taking this best fight as he can considering the circumstances. But we see reinforcements on the way. No, actually, not really units, actually. Just 17 villagers, 19 military. That keep is probably going to go down, and, well, doesn't even get to go down. Vortix taps out, and Puppypaw moves on to the round of 4, where he plays B in the next round. Now let's take a look here at the brackets real quick.